right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, what did we just watch? Right, on the Ernie Show channel, which, he had my attention with some of the stuff he was talking about. He had my attention, but not in a 5 segment uh, thing that he's talking about, right? Here's the thing, Mr. Show. The way you're going about it, to me, seems like you're just making a grab for the money, sir. You want to turn it into a movie, your own story, right? But this is another case that's just like the Delphi case. Many years have gone by, and now we find people that are making money off of it, and each day they claim they solved the case and they know what happened. So it was very freaky, sir. And I do have to admit, sir, when people go into your chat, it's almost like a vampire layer, right? Almost you can feel them things getting into you. But your chat loves you, right, Mr. Shell? People do love you, and people do hate you. It's a love and hate relationship with your channel or your viewers. But some of the stuff you were saying, Mr. Shell, was didn't I don't understand what you were talking about. All right, the whole pizza thing. I remember watching the video you live streaming, and you were going to the Wells house delivering a pizza. I remember that. I seen it myself, right? You were going to the Wells house. You were banging on the door. Answer the door, Candace. You had a pizza, and you had, I don't know what, Mountain Dew, whatever it was, Bear or whatever. And you were going there to bring food yourself to the Wells house, and you were on camera, sir, banging on her door, calling her name. Come on out. You got food for another thing. Well, it just so happens the next day, supposedly this big thing came out that Mr. Shell or somebody left a bag of pickles. Now I'm using pickles as a term for something else, right? And a pizza box or whatever in the trash, whatever, and a bag of pickles somewhere in the front door or whatever. No, I don't know who did that, what happened. But Mr. Shell was talking about, well, these child predators or whatever, they want to go all the way. They want to use these things on the kids and do things. What exactly, Mr. Shell? Is that what were how did the pickles end up there? A bag of pickles uh, and a pizza, right? When everybody's seen you delivering the pizza and banging on her door, sir. I mean, you got to explain that. I mean, I don't understand what that was. And then in the beginning of his video, he really had my attention when he came out and said the way that Summer Wells died. He knows that's exactly what happened. She was molested right before they killed her. Well, matter of fact, he said as she was being molested, they killed her. Well, who's that? Who's they? Who told you that? Because you got no body, you got nothing. And the only people that would know that are the people that were there and seen it and witnessed it, right? So you're kind of putting yourself in a jam if you're asking me, sir. If you're asking me, sir, right? That was I was like, wait a minute. There's no body. How does he know she was sexually molested and then hit with a hammer as she's being molested, and the body's gone? Right? You got no body. Well, how? Well, the family. Well, they're going to tell you anything because it's a show, and the police told the parents to stay away from YouTube and social media. And I do believe somebody pressured them, right? And you can make a lot of money on this. We'll make a lot of money. Get on YouTube. We can, you'll have drug money, whatever. And that's very possible, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what happened. They were pressured. Now, whatever it may be, we are hunting something that is attacking people. You can't see it. You can't smell it, taste it. You can feel it. But it's coming from one of these YouTube channels or one of these YouTube cases. And that's no joke. Yeah, people weren't lying about that. I do believe these people now. Something freaky's going on. And like I said, Mr. Shell, in your chat, there's a fine line, a very fine line, and don't you ever forget it, Mr. Shell. A very fine line between saving people's lives and a cult and some kind of a following, like a Manson family or something. Now, I'm just saying, sir. I'm just saying. There's a very fine line. And some of the things you say and do point towards that. And this is, maybe it's not a cult, but a gang. And this is exactly, I mean, Mr. Shell, you've known so much about trafficking, sir. You know so much about trafficking. You know more than the traffickers. And you claim to work for these people, but yet you cannot produce a badge and you can't produce any paperwork showing that you are officially an agent of some government task force or agency, and you haven't produced anything. And that's what is the problem, sir. That's what the problem is. You are saying you know exactly how she died. She was molested and why she was being molested right before her death. As she was being molested, she was killed. That's what you said on your channel tonight. And being it's an ongoing case, sir, how do you know that? I mean, like I said, I'm not a hater of Ernie Shell. I do believe Ernie Shell has problems. I feel sorry for him. But that's Ernie Shell's life. It's Ernie Shell's sickness. It's Ernie Shell's bed that he laid in. And I'm not just a victim of vampire, and people can't be vampires and get away with it or whatever they're saying, or even cult leaders, whatever. So it was very freaky, but it was very interesting to hear what he had to say. And this is how I would have done it. And you don't have to listen to me, Mr. Shell, because I'm an idiot. But I would have did what you said. I would have said this is how she died, which you did. You said she was hit with a hammer as she was being molested. That's what you said. And after that, you should have said, and this is my proof. And then you should have produced the proof instead of saying, oh, well, this might be a 5 or 6 video episode, like it's a TV series or something. And the government, sir, is getting very, very upset because uh, these people think you know who the killer is, but yet you will not. If the money's right and it's the right TV deal, then you'll explain who the killer is, which you have no proof that they were even the killer off of words. That's hearsay. Even though Don Wells is a known evil person or whatever, and Candace, whatever, who knows? Hell, maybe they were bitten by the vampires themselves. And then you got Benny Keys, the stuff you said about Benny Keys, which his wife a long time ago came out and said he was a pork sword rider. And I'm not judging him for that, but I can see why these people are all sick. A lot of us people are putting the dots together. A lot of these people are sick. They all hung out with each other. They all did drugs together, and they all slept with each other. Probably. I mean, that's what some of the deep divers and everything, and it makes sense now that they're all getting sick, and some people are saying, well, one found out that the other one was sick, and it went down the line, and Ernie's been saying he's been sleeping with all these women, his chat, these YouTube women, and it was a feeding frenzy. Everybody was like, "What the heck?" Well, his sickness. It's a sickness that is contagious. And I feel sorry for the guy, but once again, that's his sickness, his bed he laid in. It's no one else's, right? How did it get this bad? I have no idea, folks. Money, sex, drugs, fame. There's no amount of money to sell your soul to the devil or any vampire or anything. You're not going to live forever. The way Elon's talking with the chainsaws and the vampires, and he's got the vampire kit now and everything. You vamps ain't going to live forever too much. It'll probably be the same thing as before. And they will continue to kill people thinking they're vampires until we don't get attacked no more, until that feeling goes away. Like our life has been sucked away from us. Our energy. These guys are talking about energy and strength and going on. I've been pushing on, dude. It's my strength that you guys are using. It's really thy God Almighty's strength. But he just found out that you stole it from me, an anointing, a gift from God. Right? Well, people think it's crazy. Oh, it's crazy. Like I said, there's a fine line between what these people are doing, and it's called a cult. And that's no joke, folks. It ain't no different than a Kushner at the Waco, Texas. It ain't no different than the Manson family. It's no different than anything, right? Yeah. What is it about these people that draws us in? We know they're killers. We know something is wrong about them, whether it's the twinkle in their eyes or the brown eyes or just the way they hypnotize people. We know they've done bad. We know they're killers, they're traffickers, they're all kinds of stuff. But they suck us in somehow, like a magnet. Well, I had to get out of there for a while. I had to stop asking questions because it goes around. You can't have a serious an adult conversation with these people because they change the subject so much. I'm like, let's go back to where you said you knew exactly how she died. That's what happened. Uh, she was molested before her death, and why she was being molested, she was hit with a hammer. I mean, that's what you said, Mr. Show. No one else. And here's the crazy thing about this whole thing: you folks don't even have a body. They could have said anything. Only the real killers would know exactly what happened, or the people that sat there and watched it. Was it a party house, a drug house? It looked like crap. It was all messed up. Oh yeah, we all seen it. It don't make them killers though. Might make them rapists or whatever. We don't know. Now they're talking. Ernie Shell was talking tonight that there was kids that would go there all the time, the neighbors' kids and all this and that, and it was a sex house where they would have sex with kids. I don't. I really don't know, folks. I really don't know. You would have to pull the other kids away from the family, the boys that survived, and you would have to let a psychiatrist dig into their mind and find out, was sex going on in the house? Were they doing anything with their sister? Was anyone else doing bad stuff? Now, we know Don Wells said he took showers with Summer Wells, naked at what? She was 7 or something like that, or 5 or whatever. I don't know, it's kind of old. Usually with a family, unless you're a single parent, uh, men take care of the boys and the women take care of the girls, unless you're a single parent and you're a father and you're going to have to wipe your daughter's butt, right? You're going to have to change your daughter's uh, diaper. You're going to have to give your daughter a bath. But there's a age limit where you stop doing that, right? Now, if Don Wells was who he said he was, he would have been showering with the kids, with the boys, if he was trying to save water like he claimed or whatever. Why didn't he shower with the boys and have Candace shower with Summer? You know, there's a lot of unanswered questions, folks. But what I don't understand is why Mr. Shell said that right off the bat in this case when people were talking about the hammer, and he came out and said that's how she died, with a hammer. As she was being molested, she was killed with the hammer. Well, how'd you find that out, sir? Who told you that? Get them into court, hook them up to a lie detector test. Or like the Delphi case. This is Delphi all over. Only people that knew about the crime would have known key things. And that's the same thing what we're looking at here. A grab for the money, a case that just won't die, drugs, prostitution, children being abused. I don't know. Can you explain what we seen tonight, Debbie? What we heard? Like I said, I'm not an Ernie, uh, excuse me, an Ernie Shell hater, right? Some of the stuff he said made sense, but his whole wrestling, the whole wrestling persona is you got to sell it before anyone buys it. And that carried over his wrestling history, carried over into his Secret Service life and military life and all that. Best of the best and all that. So I don't know. I'm interested. I'm going to watch some more of it. He's going to, explain it. But see, here's how I know this is just a bunch of crap is because he wants to do it in a 5-part segment, like it's a documentary. Like it's a 5-part documentary. Just come out. Hey, this was the person that told me, or this was the person that was there, and this is what happened, whatever. And this is how it led up to this situation, and then explain it. But he's talking about a 5-part TV series, and I'm like, this is my dime. I ain't got the time, right? I mean, I'm not knocking him. He's good at what he does. He's been doing it for a long time. What is it? I don't know. But he makes money, and he's constantly on the run. He's constantly seeing states all over on his viewers dying. I don't know, Debbie. What did we see tonight, Miss Fox? Can you type in chat there? Miss Fox is saying so nobody could find her and find out the damage on her body. Those two wore big crosses those days. After I wondered if they were um, necklaces. My take is cremated her. Well, there would be evidence of that. There would be paperwork of her being cremated. Uh, well, maybe he is trying to do better. Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad he's doing better. I'm glad he's trying to do better. Uh, but he's getting himself in trouble by saying that. He could be brought in. He might have already been brought in and questioned about it. I mean, without a body, it's hard. Right now, he's saying that he had a whole team ready to go search in the woods, helicopters, dogs, all kinds of stuff. But he couldn't. Well, there's nobody that can stop a public investigation. Mr. Shell could have, he had helicopters and teams of people to go out there and all the equipment they needed, radar, sensors, and cadaver dogs and things. There was nothing stopping him. What was stopping him? His checkbook, because he would have to pay for the helicopters. He had to pay for the search team, and he would have had to pay for the radar devices and all the other stuff. Right? That's probably what stopped him. There's no law stating the public cannot investigate their own case. The citizens can investigate and make citizens arrest and obtain criminals. If you see a criminal act happening, you could act on civilian rights. Uh, like I said, I'm not an Ernie hater. I really don't want to hate anybody, really. And I do agree, going in some of these people's chats, it's almost like walking into a vampire or lair or whatever it is. I just, it's like the air gets real thick or something. You can't breathe or whatever. And I've been looking up how to tell when you got a vampire in your neighborhood, what diseases to look for, and what problems you'll have. And this is serious stuff, folks. They lived by this. They knew right away if there was a vampire in town. They knew if it was some kind of a spiritual demonic demon or a vampire. As soon as diseases started popping up back in the olden days, they went on a vampire hunt and a witch hunt. Why? Because it was in the Bible. That's why. Let me see what else Miss Debbie's saying. Again, just my thoughts. They have a friend who owns a crematory. They still would have to document that. I do believe that would be documented if he was going to cremate them. They have logs for that. You can't hide a body, right? And what do funeral homes and cremation buildings have? Cameras. Why? Because they don't want people to steal the bodies. There'd be evidence of her being there at that cremation place if they would have investigated it right. But as much time that went by, yeah, that's true. They could have got rid of all the evidence by now. No, I was shocked when he was talking about Benny Keys uh, and Don Wells and them having sex. Don Wells bending him over and gave him drugs, and Benny succumbed to the drug uh, thing, and they were having sex, right? Now, I don't know if that's true. That's what Ernie said, that Don Wells said, but here we go. People, didn't Benny Key's wife come out and say uh, he was caught with another man? And everyone was asking, who was it? And she said, you guys know exactly who it is. He took off running down the road. Well, everybody was putting two and two together. Let me see what Miss Debbie Fox is saying. I kind of believe that, though. Well, that's what a lot of people are saying. Did you know there was a lot of people in Mr. Shell's chat tonight saying Andrew and his kid had something to do with it? Benny Keys don't have a wife at the time. No, he did though. She's a beautiful woman. She was pretty beautiful. She walked in on him supposedly. Now I don't know if that's true, but it sounded like she was telling the truth. But see, a lot of people don't know. Then that whole thing came up that Benny Keys was working for the cops. He was a rat. And then it came out that Ernie Shell was a cop. He was working, he's a rat. I don't know, maybe undercover or something. I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy. Who knows? All I know is I don't know what I've seen. I don't know what happened to us. It was like stepping into the Twilight Zone, right? I don't know. I'm starting to see that these people's eyes are brown, dark brown, twinkling. I mean, so brown. It's almost like they're full of crap, and they just might be. They just might be, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I don't know. Last the what was it? Just a couple days ago, he was going to reveal all the women that he slept with, all the videos. He was going to show videos. He was telling people, if you guys don't get up on this panel, I'm going to show these videos of you women or whatever he was saying. Uh, what was he trying to do? Stir up content, get them in there, get people in there. Ernie Shell's going to show vagina. He's going to release all the women that he slept with. And I think he should, because you don't want to get sick. You don't want these people to go out and get sick, sleep with someone and end up getting sick. It's not good. Let me say, I don't. Debbie says, I don't know, but I am not going to bash Ernie Shell. He is already dealing with karma in his own right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel bad for him, but like I said, folks, uh, he might just be looking for someone to bite. Right? When he first started his live tonight, boy, he was breathing, oh, like he was getting a rush. I had to ask, was that just a soul you sucked out of somebody, or was it the powder? Right? Yeah, we're gonna start believing in vampires, ladies and gentlemen. And we probably should have never done it. Stop believing in it, anyways. Hold on a minute. Let me see what Miss Debbie Fox is saying. Yeah, yeah. Well, see, there was a lot of people, Debbie, at one time that thought these women infected him, right? The women that he was sleeping with supposedly affected him, infected him, got him sick or whatever, because he was a heartthrob, right? So a lot of people were like, this guy's sleeping with a lot of women, and it's a good chance one of these women got him, right? She was tainted or whatever, and they got him. But I don't know. We're trying to figure out the thing, and I think he should reveal these women. And some of these women are pissed. Why? Well, because they acted like they were in love with Ernie, right? They couldn't live, breathe, sleep without Ernie Shell. They had to have him. And the super soaker cyber penis or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't think that though. I'm not sure. If you give a creator, get over it. Yeah, they should get over it. I give him credit. It's hard to come out to the world that you have AIDS. No, it's not. It's a common thing. I keep telling people, they'd be shocked. Probably over 95% of this world has it. Why? Because it's a disease that can spread by touch, sexual and touch, through semen, uh, through anything. So yeah, And when you got the president on the TV asking questions about, are they turning this stuff into weapons, or is it spreading? Did it mutate? And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that AIDS might have mutated. It might have gone airborne, just like Ebola.
Through the valleys where the rivers are strong, with every mile, with every song, the road keeps calling, I keep moving on. The road keeps calling, I keep moving on. Through dusty trails and skies so wide, no turning back, no standing still. I'll ride this path.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to touch base on the video and that we seen from Mr. Shell tonight. And what do I think? I think Mr. Shell was used. Right? Mr. Shell also claimed he did live in the area of where the Wells used to live. And he used to work out there, whether it was through the police force or whatever. But he knew the hills, he knew that area. He also knew people in that area. And that was him saying that on his live tonight. Right? He's worked with the police out there and the agency out there before the Wells case. And that's the same thing with Benny Keys. He knew Don Wells and that family before Summer Wells came up missing. Drugs. Right? Drugs. And then you enter Andrew and his son, which now a lot of people are saying, and even in Mr. Ernie Chat's live tonight, we're saying they had something to do with it. Well, I don't know. It's possible. It's very possible. I don't know. I don't have the proof. Am I judging any of these people? No. Have I attacked any of them? No. Not if asking a question is attacking somebody. Have I been attacked? Well, I feel like I've been bit by 1,000 vampires. And I hope I survive. Right? I should have put on garlic before I went in there. Put some garlic around my neck. But he wasn't out there when this happened. Well, I'm not sure. I don't know. He was a hop, skip, and a jump away from there, Debbie. Sorry, I had the wrong fader. We can't judge. It's not for us to say. No, we can't, Miss Fox. Right? We can't judge. We can make our opinions. We can give our scenarios and thoughts. Right? They sent a woman that shit. They know I don't hit women. They know I don't abuse women. So they I think they tried to send a woman to steamroll me. I don't know. I don't know, but they're all saying beat the hell out, right? But I'm like, I can't hit a woman. I don't want to hit a woman or anything. But you're right. We can't judge anybody, Debbie. We can't judge anybody. It's only for God to judge, right? Uh, but what they can do is lock him up if he has any guilt in him or anything to do with it. And Ernie Shell might come out and say this was a scam. He might deliver all the scammers, right? He might come into this and blow the case wide open with scammers. It was all this guy's idea. It was a money grab created. The Wells didn't even want to go on YouTube, but someone said they'd be able to supply their drug habit, and you make buku money with donations and all kinds of stuff, and that's very well possible. That's really very well possible. Uh, like I said, folks, we're getting real. It's a real thin line. It's a real thin line between madness, cults, and vampires, and I think you folks are gonna actually be able to see in real life how your ancestors lived uh, back in the day with this hunt that's going to be happening. Well, it's happening right now. It's going on right now. Right? This is what happens when you practice witchery, sorcery, or any kind of tarot card crap or any of that crap. Uh, One way or another, the Lord will get you, right? We're all suffering from this, and we don't even practice witchery or sorcery or anything, right? It's just crazy. Yeah, none of this is finding the girl, right? Like I said in this chat tonight, man, you know what? You might be right, but you have to find the body first. Find the body, then we can find the evidence on the body of any abuse or anything like that. But you know what? As long a time that's gone by, the only thing that would be left is bones. That'd be it. Bones. It's been too long. And they wanted it to stay too long. They didn't want to find nobody, or there would have been helicopters out there. There would have been dogs. There would have been helicopters. There would have been all kinds of stuff. Four wheelers. Hundreds of people. They found nothing. What's the other option? Uh, I don't know. Maybe the church. Maybe they got rid of her to the church. You know, the church. People do adopt kids from churches. And you know what else they do when there's an adoption? Let me get this into Miss Debbie's head. Do you know the procedure of what happens, Miss Debbie Fox, when somebody is adopted? When a family member gives up a child for money through a legit agency? Well, let me explain what happens. See, there's families out there that can't have children, so they adopt children. Some families are rich, so they take on more. They adopt children, right? Some of these families adopt children for nothing but slavery and abuse. Some of these people adopt these children because they can't have families, so they want to have a child and they adopt them. But the procedure when that adoption happens, if it is for money, they come to an agreement. Papers are wrote up, money is transferred, and that kid no longer is their family. They become someone else. And all their paperwork and document is gone. And now she lives as someone else. And you can try and find her, but I don't think you would. unless you found her or she came forward out of somewhere and said, she's Summer Wells. And then, of course, there would have to be blood work done to make sure it was the same match to one of the family members. Other than that, you'll never find her. Why? Because the paperwork is hidden. It's not released to people. In her other paperwork, she will show that she died or mysteriously missing. And you can try and find her, but they won't release that because that's all protected information. It was a legitimate adoptee. All right, I think I'm going to end this video. I've had enough of this case or whatever this thing was. I'll tell you, that was freaky. Now, once again, we're not an Ernie Shell hater. I feel bad for the dude. Been watching him for a while. There's been funny parts and there's been very disturbing parts. And I don't know why these people put themselves in this predicament just for fame, money, or whatever it is. It's just crazy. And then to top it off, they're saying he's a veteran thief or whatever. I don't know. You folks have a good night. I might be back because we're gonna watch it more. I think he's going live again tonight. And he's going to explain more of it. And hey, I'm listening, Mr. Show. I know you might block me, and most of my comments are blocked. You might not like me or anything. I got no beef with you. You got talent. You just used it the wrong way. Right? It caught up to you. Right? And watch now, he don't even have AIDS. It was all a story. It was something else, and he's not sick and all this and that. I don't know. I've seen 20 or 30 of these YouTubers. They're dying every day of cancer, and mysteriously the next day they wake up, they're perfectly fine. I don't know. All right. You folks have a great night. Miss Debbie Fox, thanks for stopping in. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. God bless.
I can see it clearly. Life ain't perfect, but it's worth the tears.